David and Goliath. The story of David and Goliath takes place during a time when the Israelites were at war with the Philistines. The Philistines gathered their forces for battle at a place called Soko in Judah, and the Israelites camped in the valley of Elah to confront them. Among the Philistine army was a giant named Goliath, who was over 9 feet tall and wore a bronze helmet and armor that weighed about 125 pounds. He carried a spear with a shaft like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 15 pounds. 1 Samuel 17 verses 1-7. Goliath came out every day for 40 days, taunting the Israelites and challenging them to send a champion to fight him in single combat. He mocked the Israelite army and said, "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." The Israelites were terrified and dismayed by Goliath's challenge. 1 Samuel 17 verses 8-11. David, a young shepherd and the youngest son of Jesse, was sent by his father to the battlefield to bring food to his older brothers, who were serving in King Saul's army. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's taunts and saw the fear of the Israelites. David, full of faith in God, asked, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" 1 Samuel 17 verses 12-26. David's boldness caught the attention of King Saul, and David was brought before him. David volunteered to fight Goliath, saying, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul doubted David's ability, as he was only a young boy and Goliath was an experienced warrior. But David recounted how he had defended his sheep from lions and bears, saying, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." 1 Samuel 17 verses 32-37. Saul agreed to let David fight Goliath and offered him his armor, but David declined, saying he could not go in the armor because he was not used to it. Instead, David took his shepherd's staff, chose 5 smooth stones from a stream, and put them in his shepherd's bag. With his sling in hand, he approached Goliath. 1 Samuel 17 verses 38-40. As David came closer, Goliath looked down on him with scorn and said, "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" He cursed David by his gods and said, "Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." But David responded with courage, saying, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head." 1 Samuel 17 verses 41-47. As Goliath moved closer to attack, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag, he took out a stone, placed it in a sling, and slung it at Goliath. The stone struck Goliath on the forehead, and the giant fell face down on the ground. David then ran over, took Goliath's sword, and used it to cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran, and the Israelites pursued them, winning a great victory that day. 1 Samuel 17 verses 48-53. David's victory over Goliath demonstrated that it is not by physical strength or weapons that battles are won, but by faith in God. This event marked the beginning of David's rise to prominence in Israel, eventually leading to him becoming king. 1 Samuel 17 verses 54-58. Reflect on the story of David and Goliath. What does this story teach you about courage, faith, and trusting in God's power over seemingly impossible odds? How can you apply the lessons of David's faith in your own life when facing challenges or giants? Write about how this story influences your understanding of relying on God rather than on your own strength or resources.